Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios in Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for Atlanta Business Radio. Brought to you by OnPay. Built in Atlanta, OnPay is the top-rated payroll and HR software anywhere. Get 1 month free at onpay.com. Now, here's your host.
This is Lee Cantor, and we are proud to be delivering original interviews on Atlanta Business Radio, and we could not do that without the support of OnPay. So please support them so we can continue to share these important stories. Next up on Atlanta Business Radio, we have Tonya Echols, and she is with International Coaching Federation, the Georgia Chapter. Welcome, Tonya.
Thank you so much. Wonderful to be here.
Well, before we get too far into things, tell us about ICF. How are you serving folks?
Yeah, so the International Coach Federation is the global sort of gold standard of coaching. And when we're talking about coaching, we're not talking about sports in this case, although there is an aspect of performance coaching that does exist around sports. And that's probably how most people are familiar with the concept of coaching. But really, we're here as an organization that supports the industry of coaching and how we are supporting our clients and the communities that we serve, both from a professional and truly a human personal perspective as well.
Now, how did you get involved with the organization?
Yeah, I became involved back actually in 2016, so not that long ago. But when I decided I wanted to formally become a coach and really get serious about it, I really did some research and figured out, hey, if you're going to do anything, you want to make sure you're doing it the right way and you're doing it with the highest level of education and professionalism and ethics that you can have. And within the world of coaching, that is the ICF, the International Coaching Federation. And so I initially joined our global entity, which serves countries all over the world. It is truly international. And then I also recognize the importance of getting connected to our local Georgia chapter. And obviously we are physically based out of Atlanta, but we make every effort to ensure that we are engaging with people from around the state. So we've got people who come from all over to, when we were allowed to meet in person, to our in-person meetings, but also making sure that we have access to people through our webinars and our online presence as well. And when I got engaged, I wanted to have that connection to our local coaches, to our local businesses, and figuring out how we could really promote and advocate the growth of coaching within our local community.
Now, for the people who aren't familiar with ICF and they're considering joining, can you walk me through some of the benefits of membership?
Yeah. Well, the ICF Georgia Chapter and ICF in general, this is the largest worldwide resource for business and personal coaches. We offer a supportive community. We offer many opportunities for your professional development. That's both educational and from a business standpoint. So whether you're trying to grow your mind or grow your business, we're here to help you do that as well. There's also a lot of networking, a lot of access that you have to other coaches, to partner organizations that are interested in similar types of categories that we're interested in. And also it's just an enjoyable way to connect with coaches from all backgrounds and all specialties and all modalities, just to learn and grow from each other and how we support helping our clients and the organizations that we serve become more aware, become more conscious, and become more intentional about how they are living their lives and running their teams, building their leadership, and building a vision for their organizations in the future.
Now, if I'm new to a meeting, can you walk me through what happens at a meeting so I know what to expect?
Oh, we love having new people at a meeting, and that's really one of, I think, our strengths, especially in the last few years, that you can come. You don't have to be a member in order to come to our meetings or attend our events. You come in and you're greeted normally, again, once we're in person, but our last several have been both virtually and in person. And then obviously the last 2 months, they've been just virtual. But we really make an effort to welcome you, to bring you in, to meet people, to connect with others, because that's the biggest part of being engaged in a local chapter, is to build those connections, build that sense of local community. We come in and we have a program where we'll bring in speakers on a variety of topics. And again, whether that is your own professional development. Maybe it's a speaker on neuroscience and understanding our new ICF International Coaching Federation core competencies, ethics within our organization. So we'll have some speaker around a topic like that, or also how to build your business, how to connect with corporate clients, how to engage in different specialties and niches within the world of coaching. So we're trying to help you build your mind and build your business. And then we always try to save time for networking and building those connections again that I mentioned so far. That's really our theme for 2020. And it's been our theme always, but it's a very much explicit theme for 2020 of wanting to stay connected and make sure that everyone feels a part of the chapter who wants to be involved.
Now, are you seeing from a corporate standpoint more organizations open to coaching and encouraging leadership to get coaching or providing coaching in some manner, maybe for high potentials? Are you seeing this more part of just now? It used to be maybe only for certain people, but now it's almost a must-have for the organization.
Yes, it's been an explosion, and I love how you phrased it. For certain people, the certain people usually meant you were either at the tippy top of the leadership ladder, or you were potentially getting coaching from a remedial standpoint, potentially even to be exited out of the company, to make the company feel like they covered all their bases. And that was kind of the traditional way people thought of coaching. Either you were at the very high end, or you were headed out the door. And in the last 10 years. I would even say 15 years, that has shifted dramatically. And now it's not a question of who has a coach. It's now a question of, can I get a coach? I want a coach. So-and-so has a coach, because it is being seen as something that's provided to those within organizations that are seen as high potentials, or for certain organizations, they consider it as sort of the baseline. Like, we want all of our team members and our potential future leaders to have this understanding and this ability to tap in, reflect, understand who they are as leaders, and then affect change upon their teams and upon the organization, especially now in a time where I think everyone on the team is expected to be a change agent of some sort or a change leader of some sort. Coaching has become very much a staple and is expanding even more, again, not just at the C-suite, but now spreading that down, as you mentioned, through the high potentials, through that next tier of managers within an organization, because they want to make sure that everyone has the same playing field and the same understanding about how the organization wants to function and how they want their teams to progress and grow.
If you were giving advice to an organization that maybe has never implemented a formal coaching program throughout the organization, can you give them some tips to execute that and to get the most out of a good coaching program?
Yeah, and the first tip I think on that is to really get clarity on what's your goal. And as coaches, we're big on that and wanting to help our clients be very clear up front with what is the ultimate outcome they're trying to achieve, because that is definitely going to shape the type of coaching program that you want to put in place. Is this for leaders at a certain level and above, senior directors, AVPs, and higher? Or is this something that we're doing with our high potentials, or all of the above? Understanding what you're trying to achieve, what the ultimate outcome is going to be crucial. So working with your internal senior leadership, working with your learning and development, your human resource, your people strategies, whatever that group is for you, to make sure you're coming together with clarity on what it is you want to achieve out of the coaching. And then either working with your internal coaches, if you have them, or if you've never done this before, working with external coaches to really craft a partnership that will set you up for success, set your organization up for success, and your leaders and the participants in the coaching program. It's going to be important to make sure you understand what type of coaches you're bringing in. And obviously, as the International Coaching Federation, that's something that's very important for us, because coaching is still a little bit of the wild, wild west in some cases. And there aren't formal guidelines and regulations state to state or even nationally as to what qualifies as a coach. And that's why the International Coaching Federation is seen as the gold standard, because we have pretty much led the way in what does it mean to be a certified, credentialed professional coach? What does it mean to be a quote-unquote real coach who follows a certain standard of ethics, who has gotten a certain level of education, and who coaches in a compliance with these core competencies that allow us to help our clients achieve the successes that they want for themselves, for their careers, for their organizations, for their lives, really. So we do recommend, and I fully admit that we're biased, but we do recommend that you have an ICF credentialed coach who is working with you and helping you to make sure that you're crafting what the outcomes are, but that they're also qualified to be able to help you design whatever your program is going to be to get you to those outcomes.
Now, you mentioned that there's certain kind of methodology around coaching that ICF kind of builds their program around. Is there some red flags, maybe if a person is using a coach that isn't certified? That is there some warning signs that, hey, maybe this person isn't really have my best interest at heart?
Yes, there definitely are. And thank you for asking that question. That's really important to help people be aware of what they're walking into and the types of questions they want to ask. Anytime you're dealing with a coach who's guaranteeing you outcomes, guaranteeing you, oh, you're going to have a 20% increase in your sales next year if we come in and do a sales coaching program with your team. That's not what coaches do. It's because ultimately through coaching, it's about changing the person, changing the team, as opposed to a consultant who's going to come in and give you agendas for how you start to boost your sales. That's not what a coach does. Coaches are trying to help our clients work from the inside out. So someone who's coming in and making guarantees about this is exactly how your team's going to think when this is all over. Well, we can't guarantee that because it's about the work and the effort your team puts into it. Or this is the revenue you're going to hit next year. We can't guarantee that because it becomes about what you and your organization are willing to put into to make this happen. So watch out for anyone who's kind of selling you the proverbial snake oil that they can fix all your problems and they have all the answers for you. Because as coaches, we ultimately believe that you have those answers within you. You're the expert in your life. You're the expert in your world. You're the expert in your organization. We're the experts in skills and tools that will help you unearth that and bring it to the forefront in a way that is going to allow you to be your most optimal, whether that's at the individual contributor role all the way up through your C-suite. So watch out for anyone who's just promising you the moon. I think we're all adults. We've noticed that usually doesn't work out the way we anticipated. But look for someone who is coming in and promising to partner with you, who's offering to help you set some clear guidelines and development goals for yourself. And then who's also willing from our end as coaches to hold ourselves to some metrics around what types of changes you want to see. So we may come back with you and do surveys. We may have you go through your people analytics team and look at, okay, how many of the people in our coaching programs have gotten promoted or have had increases in their results? So not that we're guaranteeing them, but you do want coaches who are willing to stand by their work and give you a true return on investment as to what the coaching is giving you. So there's that balance between I'm not promising you, here's your new revenue number for 2021, but I am willing to back up the work that I do, that you're going to see results that you want for your organization around how your teams are being promoted, how they're growing, how they're impacting the parts of the business that you want to see some changes occur in.
Now, how about some advice for that brand new coach, the person who feels they are a subject matter expert and they want to get into coaching? How do you encourage them or help them get over maybe some of this imposter syndrome that maybe they don't have enough knowledge to actually be a coach and to recommend anything to someone else?
Yeah, and that's really the beauty of coaching, is that it's not about us telling people what to do. And I'll even, ask you from your perspective of how often do you do exactly what other people tell you to do?
All the time. I just listen to someone smart and just do whatever they say.
And do what they say, exactly, because we always do what everyone tells us to. I'm sure our parents would ascribe to that as well. So, yeah, honestly, that isn't how it works normally. It really works the most effectively when we have found that intrinsic quality within ourselves that motivates us to want to do something. So it's not about me as the coach having all the answers or you as a new coach having all the answers, but it's about you having the skill set and the professional background to be able to help your client find those answers for themselves. So what I always tell coaches when they're coming through training is to take that pressure off yourself. You are not expected to be the know-all, be-all guru. You are expected to be present. You're expected to have a certain level of skill set and knowledge and awareness to help your client find the right answers for them. But you are not expected to be the font of knowledge, the ultimate coaching dictionary that has the answer for every possible thing that could ever come up.
Now, can you tell us a little bit about International Coaching Week and how ICF Georgia is going to be celebrating?
Yes, International Coaching Week is the week of May 4th through May 10th. We're so excited about that. This is actually something that comes through our global entity, and it's an annual celebration of the power and the impact of professional coaching. So again, from May 4th through 10th of 2020, ICF members from all over the world are invited to and inviting others to celebrate coaching's power to positively impact individuals and organizations and communities around the world. And here at ICF Georgia, we have some great things coming up, and this is kind of a sneak peek, but we're actually also going to launch or at least announce our 2020 ICF Georgia Prism Award, where we are going to go through a process over the next several months of selecting a local organization that is really doing amazing work in the field of coaching, whether it's internal coaches, external coaches, or a combination thereof, that they have put a program in place that they have seen not only the growth and benefit of, but also having some true internal ROI on how it's impacting their business. So that's one of the things we're announcing. So that's a sneak peek on that one for everyone to know that's being announced for International Coaching Week. We also have some virtual happy hours coming up. We have our Coach Lattes, where we get together and kind of form our community groups and connect to each other that way. Obviously, all virtual at this point. And we also have what we call Coach Connect. And this is something, depending on when you're hearing this, you still have access to go and sign up for, where we're actually offering free coaching to anyone who would like an hour of coaching with someone who has graduated from an ICF credentialed coaching program. So you will sign up, and we will assign you to a coach who will spend an hour of time pro bono helping you address a challenge or something that you want to get some clarity on in your life. So many different things going on, and we're just so excited to celebrate International Coaching Week with everyone in our local community and honestly around the world.
Well, Tonya, thank you so much for sharing your story today. You're doing important work and providing a great service to lots of people. If somebody wanted to learn more about ICF, what's the website?
Yeah, our website is www.icfgeorgia, that's the full word, Georgia, icfgeorgia.org, www.icfgeorgia.org. You can learn all about us and our events, and we hope to see all of you at some point, virtually or in person, at one of our upcoming events soon.
And then normally when the meetings, are they on a regular rhythm, like monthly or quarterly? How often are the meetings, when they used to be in person or when eventually they'll be in person again?
Yeah, and they're still going strong. So we're doing them virtually, and we're still in the same schedule. So basically every second Wednesday of every month, we have our we have our monthly chapter meeting. And so our next one is coming up on the 13th. I think that's the date that's stuck in my head. But the second Wednesday of every month, with the exception of June, July, and August, because we know those are busy months for people with families and just work in the summer. It's just a difficult time to get folks together.
Thank you so much, Tonya, for sharing your story. And thank you to our sponsor, OnPay, whose generous support allows us to tell these important stories. This is Lee Cantor. We will see you all next time on Atlanta Business Radio.
Today's episode of Atlanta Business Radio is brought to you by OnPay. Built in Atlanta, OnPay is the top-rated payroll and HR software anywhere. Get 1 month free at onpay.com.